Hi everyone and welcome to another Cook and Chat video where I cook something up while having the occasional existential crisis. And today I'm getting ready for Chinese New Year by making homemade pineapple tarts while chatting about the current state of Instagram and if it's truly dying like everyone seems to be saying it is. Before we begin, remember you can get the full recipe for these pineapple tarts on my blog tashcakes.com, for which I'll put the link to down below. Just a heads up, you're going to need a few hours for this one because the pineapple jam takes forever to make. Okay, let's get on with the topic of the week. Instagram, dead, dying, or still good? Well, it's not dead at over 1 billion monthly active users according to Statista.com, but it's not exactly fresh either. It's been around since 2010, which in internet terms makes it ancient already, and its more recent or relatively recent big updates consist of copycat add-ons like IGTV and Reels, which obviously look to compete with YouTube and TikTok. Heck, even Stories have launched to compete with Snapchat, and even both of those now are relatively old. So how about dying? Everyone who uses Instagram knows about how it's going down the same route as Facebook did, naturally being owned by Facebook, in that it's valuing adverts equally or in fact even more than organic content, decreasing the reach of organic posts, i.e. regular posts where you don't pay Instagram to make visible to more people, and all of those lovely things. Let's take my current stats for an example. I currently have just over 12,000 followers. One of my most recent posts reached a measly 2,566 accounts, and according to the same stats that told me that, only 47% of the people that saw that post were actually my own followers. And how many impressions from that were made with my carefully curated hashtags? A whole 47 impressions. Sad, right? And it works the other way too. I know the system's also hiding people I follow from me. I'll be scrolling and come to a message with a big green tick saying, "You're all caught up." But then I'll think, hey, I haven't heard from this guy or girl in a while, let me check their profile. And lo and behold, they'll have a whole bunch of posts that haven't appeared on my home feed because for some reason the all-powerful algorithm has decided for me that I'm not interested in seeing them, when I actually am. Instagram did away with the chronological feed back in 2016, and even 5 years later, people are still asking for it back. In fact, of the numerous times I've asked my friends and followers what they prefer, the majority of the time the answer is mostly chronological feed please. Although granted, the number of people saying they prefer to stick to the algorithm feed is growing now that people have largely gotten used to it. Personally, I prefer chronological order. From a user perspective, it makes more sense. But unfortunately, from a business sense, it makes more sense to have some control over what your users see and how they see it. And although Instagram is still a platform that's in the broad sense free to use, it's now also owned by a large company with profits on their minds. Plus, with so many people trying to make it as influencers these days, and now that you can shop on Instagram, Instagram doesn't have the same relatable, accessible feel it once had. People don't like a hard sell. And at the moment, Instagram feels like an increasing number of people trying to sell to a decreasing number of people, or at least that's how it feels to me. And actual user numbers are shifting too. According to an article from eMarketer.com, which I'll link below in the description, Instagram already dropped down to single digits in growth percentage in 2018. In other words, the yearly amount of new users signing up is slowing down. A quick Google search about the state of Instagram's algorithm and growth brings up articles proclaiming the platform's impending demise and urging savvy social media users to migrate to TikTok for its supposedly better algorithm and reach. So, is this the beginning of the end for Instagram? If you're thinking about it in terms of, are people going to start using TikTok instead of Instagram now? I don't think so. The two platforms do very different things at the end of the day, no matter how much Instagram tries to muscle into other platforms' markets. People thought that Snapchat would be the new influencer marketing darling in this sense, but it's already becoming less and less relevant by the day, with the number of users actually declining. Check out that article with the stats also from eMarketer below. Loads of people still use it, but it's no longer the platform to be on, unlike TikTok. Also, for the record, even though reach itself on TikTok is better, I'm not convinced that the TikTok algorithm is better per se, considering its so-called beauty algorithm that literally judges your video's potential success based on how attractive the system reckons your face is, and the lax attitude to letting supremely problematic trends and challenges go viral. It's not fair to expect a company or platform to grow at a breakneck speed forever. Eventually they all have to reach a level of maturity where growth slows and hopefully stabilises. The problem is when growth stops altogether and when shrinking starts to happen. As it stands, Instagram's active user base is still growing, and it was still the 6th most used social media network of 2020 according to Statista.com, after Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger and WeChat. That's not too shabby. Although Facebook had better be careful because it's going through a gradual usage decline, and once again, Facebook owns Instagram, don't forget. It's also easy to get mad from an influencer's perspective and have a bit of a gripe about how influencer marketing is getting harder and harder on Instagram because what worked before doesn't work now, the algorithm keeps changing, goalposts keep moving, organic reach is down, etc, etc. But it's important to remember that Instagram isn't just for influencers. Most people quite rightly couldn't care less about stats and numbers. All they want to do is enjoy sharing shots of what they love and chat to their mates, which is how it should be. So, in terms of casual users, Instagram's still a great place to hang out. Side note, I actually had a little search to see if I could find the proportion of influencers that make up Instagram's users, and I found an article on eMarketer.com literally titled, "Is everyone on Instagram an influencer?" which gave me a chuckle. The answer is, of course, no, influencers are still the minority, but the percentage of users with over 15,000 followers was a lot higher than I expected, standing at 39%. I've also put the link to this article in my description down below, so feel free to have a read if you're interested. So there you have it. The facts show that Instagram's growth is slowing and that, for influencers at least, it's getting harder to be seen. But its wider user base still loves using it, and as long as people like using it, it's going to be around for a long time. Might as well stick around to enjoy the ride. Thanks for watching and or listening. I hope you enjoyed today's video and found something in it useful, and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Remember, you can get the full recipe for this on my blog tashcakes.com and find me on Instagram as tashcakestastes. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. Comment down below if you'd like me to talk about anything in particular, and I'll see you guys later. Stay safe, be nice, and have a good week.